Ouch. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Welcome to Jesse Does It. I am sorry about no video this past week. There's a reason for that. I've been holding out to do this big upgrade, and today is the day that we are going to do the upgrade. What is it, you may be wondering? Well, let's take a look at that, shall we? Now, I just painted it, so it's drying, but this is my new third member with 355 gears and Trac-Lok, so it will now be limited slip posi rear end. So today, we are going to rip out the old third member, which has 280 gears in it, and as you've seen in my previous videos, it is an open differential, so that one wheel tire fire is about to go away. Yay, I'm excited. Also the 355 gears, ChatGPT and I were having a long, arduous conversation between 355 and 380. Now, as you know, I have a 3-speed transmission, which is 1-to-1 final drive. There is no overdrive. And as much as I wanted 380 gears, I think the interstate would have been terrible with that. And so I compromised and I'm going 355. Let's hope I don't regret that. I want this thing to be a ripper around town, but yet I still want to be able to cruise 60, 70 miles an hour comfortably without the engine screaming. So I think 355 is going to do it for me, and we're going to find out today. So let's get going. Pull the wheels off. I've already got the car on the stand, and let's get the axles pulled, the drive shaft disconnected, the third member unbolted, and clean up all that mess, and then reinstall all back together again. All right, let's see it. So with the drum off, I can now get to these 4 bolts up inside here, and then I can pop the axle shaft out. So we use the alignment hole here to access the bolt on the back side here, and go ahead and get those zipped off real quick, and then with luck the axle shaft will pop out. If not, I've got a slide hammer and I should be able to get that out with no problem. We do that to both sides and we'll move up underneath. Remember when I said with luck? Check this out. If that ain't luck, I don't know what is. Let's take a look at this bearing. Man, this thing looks pretty good shape too. No play. The inside here is nice and clean. I mean, somebody's changed this bearing recently. Sweet. So pop out the other side, and then it's time for the third member. And I spoke too soon. This side's not popping off, so slide hammer and take that off. All right, so had a bit of a dilemma there. My slide hammer, I cannot find the 3-prong claw that goes to the wheel studs, so I had to make my own. So here we are. I just kind of fabbed this up, and let's get it mounted and see if it will take this axle out of the rear end. All right, let's hope it works. Yep. Nope. So it's kind of trying to take the whole drum assembly with it. So I think I have to get this plate right here moved, get a couple of the bolts or the nuts back on these bolts so that that stays in place, and then pop this out. Clearly this side was not recently done like the other side. Let's hope for the best on the bearing condition there. All right, so the homemade slide hammer worked. Let's take a look at what I did here. So I just drilled 2 holes so that they would fit over 2 studs. Welded a nut here onto this angle bracket and was able to get it off. Now, the bearing, honestly, the bearing's not in bad shape. It really isn't. I think it was just kind of corroded with this bracket here holding on to some of these bolts here, and it tried pulling the whole thing off. So like I said, I put a couple of nuts on the studs and made one just good pop, and the thing came right off. So we will sandpaper this down, clean it up a little bit. Same thing with the inside of the race before we put it back on. I should put new bearings in, but you know me, I just like to send it, so we can do those another day if we have to, but I didn't buy new bearings, so we're just gonna roll with what we got. Anyways, cool. So now it's time for the third member. Getting down to the fun stuff here, so see you then. All right, let's go under the car here, shall we? So, look how sexy this exhaust is. Man. All right, next step is we are going to undo the drive shaft and then take off all these bolts around here. Let's see, can I turn the light on? Yeah. Some of them are a little funky, but I think they're gonna come off nice and easy. I did spray them down with some WD-40. And then that's really it, guys. Just take this off, kind of push it up out of the way, take these bolts off, break the seal here, drain it, and get it down to the ground and out. And then it's time for the new one to go in. So let's get that going. Yeah. The best part about your cars being leaky oil and you know, all that fun stuff is that bolts usually come out even though they haven't been touched in 60 years. Speaking of oil leaks, I think my oil pan's leaking bad. I think the front main is leaking. I think maybe the rear main is leaking. I don't know what's not leaking oil on this car. Yeah, it's something I am gonna probably have to address here in the near future. I don't want to. I don't like monotonous projects. I like doing fun stuff like this, go fast parts, or at least look cool parts, but yeah, I'm kind of getting tired of oil being all over the driveway, well, the garage actually. Or I just wait till I get a whole new motor and don't even worry about it. Sounds like a good idea, right? Find an old Fox body, pull the motor on it, pull the T5 trans on it, and rebuild that in the driveway or in the garage, and then swap it in here. Wouldn't that be cool? I need money for that first. I need to start taking some feet pics of my wife without letting her know and start selling them online. Anybody want some? Let me know. I would love to be able to listen to some music right now, but you know how YouTube is with copyright infringement. If I was playing my music while filming, it would flag me, and it's already denied my monetization. Yeah, I got denied. I've been working so hard to get to 1,000 subscribers and kind of get this thing going. I know I'm not going to make money on this, but I mean, shoot, 20 bucks a month is something, right? And I got denied. I don't understand what happened. It says reuse policy, that I was reusing content. I haven't reused anybody's content. This is all me. This is me. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I've got a bolt that, or a nut that is rounding, and so I gotta figure that out. Be right back. And we got it. I got out from under the car, rotated the drive shaft, got a socket that fits perfectly, and didn't have to use the torch. So here we are. You gotta be kidding me. That was awesome, Jesse. Fun times. Let's play put all these back together. Yeah, I need a new U-joint. Anybody know what size these are? Because I don't. This thing is so dry. It is so terrible. It is time for a new U-joint. You know what? While I'm at it, it's time for a new drive shaft. This thing is hideous. Be right back. And check that out. Good as new. I just put a little bit of grease in there so that the little needle bearings would stick, and shove them all back in one by one. And let's see if it slides over. Look at that. I am going to replace that, but for today, that's going to do what I need it to do. So make sure I don't do that to any of the other caps. And yeah, all right, that's done. Now it's time for these bolts. So we're going to go ahead and all them and make a big mess, and we'll be back. Okay, since I'm sure this has not been removed in 60 years, it's not going to just fall off on its own. And it's definitely going to make a mess. So let me get some towels and a pry bar and maybe a hammer and crack this sucker open. She's on there, boys. She's on there. Here we go. That fluid's not that bad. Yeah, I expected to see a lot worse. This will be the fun part, getting this down by myself and not getting gear oil everywhere. At this point, I guess the gear oil everywhere thing doesn't really matter. Kind of is what it is. Maybe we can pull it down and set it on a towel here and then drag it on the ground. All right. It feels like it's still stuck on something. That's weird. I forgot the axle's all the way out. So what is holding it up now? Definitely not the axles. There we go. Or not. It's right there. What is going on? Something is holding it. There we go. All right. Ouch. And it's out. Okay. Anyways, pull this off, clean it out, put the new one in, and then it's going to be time to start putting everything back together. All right, let's get this out and take a look at it. I need a haircut. So there's nothing special about this. It's just old 280 gears, open differential. It spins really nice and freely. I'm not seeing any chunks missing. There's really nothing wrong with it. Backlash seems fine. Pinion depth or pinion torque seems fine. So I will clean this up and just hold on to it in case I ever want to go back to 280. I highly doubt that. Actually, that's never going to happen, but I will hold on to it because I'm a hoarder. So anyways, time for the new one. Like I said, this is $355. You know what? Let's take a look at it. Sure. hold on. All right, so here you can see the limited slip as opposed to the open. And then this is the 355 gears, and this already came pre-assembled. Pattern was checked. It looks okay. Would I like to see the pinion depth a little bit deeper? Yeah, but they warranty it. They did it, not me. So it's on them if anything goes wrong. And trust me, if it's gonna go wrong, I'm gonna find out. So we got that. We're gonna put that in. First, we gotta clean up the housing, get all the old fluid out as best as possible. I realized this morning I don't have any brake clean, so this is gonna be fun. Not. I also am gonna clean up the rear axle today, paint that, and I have new U-bolts for the leaf springs and shock brackets. So I'm gonna put all that in, make that all look nice and clean. So we're gonna get that done, and then we'll come back and show you how the rest of it goes. Restored. Okay, finally, I got the new U-bolt brackets installed. But yes, that was much worth it. It was a pain for me because I was a dummy and wasn't paying attention. But once I figured it out, they went in much easier. And like I said, I cleaned up the axle. I mean, I just did a little scuff and a little psh psh, and it looks far better. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Is this car perfect? Absolutely not. So I think it's finally time to get the third member installed. So I'm going to, yeah, grab that, snatch it up, throw it up in there, and Bob's your uncle. So anyways, that's what's next. Let's go. Well, I don't think that's gonna happen. Okay. And like a dummy, I forgot to put RTV gasket around it. Okay. RTV liberally applied all the way around. Now let's see if we can get this thing on. I think I'm gonna need a hammer though. Okay, we're getting there. Yep. Nice. You know what I should have done that would have been really the icing on the cake here? I should have got new nuts for this, because that would have looked sharp. Some gold nuts up in here. And we're going to tighten these up. That is done, and then we are going to tighten these by hand. I'm going to go with probably 2 Ugga-Duggas on this one. I'm sure there's a torque spec. I don't care. I'm over it. I'm going to tighten these down by what feels right. And then we are going to fill it up. It's really important to make sure you grab 2 long of a ratchet, so that way you can't get in here and do anything. Okay, time for the drive shaft. And we're gonna make dang sure not to drop any needle bearings this time. All right, so I'm not gonna bore you with this monotonous crap. We're gonna tighten this back up, fill it up with gear oil and additive for the limited slip. Then we're gonna put the axles back together, the wheels back on, and then take it for a test drive. So I'll see you when it's back on the ground. Let me show you the stupidest part of this entire job. Turn some light on. So this is where you fill the differential. This is directly in the way. You take your socket and you cannot get to it because so I'm going to take the cut off wheel, cut that off. Hope I can squeeze this in there. Yay. So that's what I got to do to fill this up, and then from there just put the wheels on and I'm done. But I've got this bolt standing in my way, so we're going to cut that bolt off. See ya. So I wanted to take a second and show you guys something in case you didn't know. Are you wondering if you have open differential or a locked differential? Other than a one-wheel tire peel, there is another way to tell. So watch this. With your rear end off the ground, if you spin one wheel and the other wheel moves the same direction, you have a posi track. Now, if that other wheel were to move the opposite direction, you would have an open differential. But now that I am locked with the limited slip, it moves the same direction as the wheel I'm spinning. So that's a quick little tip for you. It's time to back this thing off the ramp and go for a test drive. All right, so I got the family with me and we are going for the first test drive. Now, I know there's a break-in policy, and I'm sure if there's ever a warranty issue, they may come back to this video and say you beat it up. I'm gonna try my best to take it easy on this thing, but I do want to give it a little bit of gas. I do want to feel what it feels like and see how much quicker it is. So I'm gonna take it around on my normal little route and see how it goes. Stays in the power band better at higher RPMs. Instead of dropping off at the higher RPMs, losing power, it stays pulling. What do you think?
It's quick.
There, hold it out the window quick. At the wheel too.
What was that?
I don't know.
All right, we got some wheel hop we're gonna have to take care of now that both wheels are spinning. But you see, she got sideways for the first time. Never used to get sideways.
What do you do for wheel hop?
Track bars.
More money.
It's too much fun now with posi. Being able to spin both wheels. Gosh, I've missed that. This car has not spun both wheels since I've had it, and it's been a long time since I've had a fun rear wheel drive, manual, little bit of horsepower, be able to spin the rear of the car around. This is fun.
He's gonna get himself into trouble.
Might get in some trouble. All right, we're done. So that was pretty cool. We had some little difficulties here that took a little bit longer than I was hoping, but we got it done and we got to go have some fun. I'm stoked on the way the thing drives. The posi made a huge difference. The gears definitely made a difference. I don't think it's night and day. I think 410 would have been a lot more fun, or even 380, but the 355 is going to be a good all around, quick off the line, and still be able to drive on the interstate. So I'm very happy with the gears that I chose. The locker definitely was the big difference there. Having limited slip, being able to spin both tires, be able to get sideways, have some fun. This is definitely going to be a little ripper for around town. Stoked on that. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that button for me, please. I greatly appreciate it. As always, I am Jesse with Jesse Does It. Till the next project.